something
You got to watch out
terrible
for those
happens.
lava bombs.
Don't
do
what?
it. Like,
Don't.
oh, The Sims.
I mean-
I don't know how that was going to
I mean,
go,
what do
but
you
probably
expect's
not
going to
well.
happen when you touch something
Yeah.
really, really hot?
It probably
yeah.
burns.
Beautiful locale, slightly dangerous.
I mean, what other surprises are in store on this island? I mean, I, for one, want to know if I can befriend any kind of cute animals there. What kind of animals can we befriend?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be The Sims if we didn't let you make friends with some of the animals.
Exactly.
So in this case, the one we're really excited about is the dolphin.
Yes. Yes.
So our art team and animators just blew away the expectation on this.
Any
The dolphin's
research
so much
trips
fun.
like the Battlefield team just going off to somewhere hot? Like,
No,
oh,
we're going
we
to
need
talk to
go
them
an
about
island.
how they got to do that.
Yeah, clearly we missed the angle on that one.
But they're so cute, and you get to make like a really nice friend with them, and maybe they'll do tricks for you or squirt water in your face. You know?
Absolutely. Well, and then we added a bunch of tropical fish to the water too.
Yes.
So we really wanted to get those coral reefs around the island to feel lush and full, and so that meant more fish.
Lovely. I mean, I don't know. We don't have fish like that in the UK. I mean, we might do, but the water's so murky. I've never seen them. So.
I'm sure they're down there.
I mean,
They're
they must
probably
be. What do you put with the chips?
Right. I'm sure they're beautiful.
So at least
rainbow
they
fish.
taste delicious. You have that going for it.
I mean, I think the island looks so relaxing. But obviously, it's not really about vacation. It's also, it's about kind of working there as well. But like, what's kind of like the feel and the vibe of the island going to be like?
I think it's one of those things we talk a lot about in the team is capturing what it would be like to really live on that island. It's not just a place you vacation, but we wanted this to be a place that's home for your Sims. And
Or,
so-
tricks to be played on you.
well, that happens too.
Well,
Yeah.
and so there's lots to do on the beach. You saw sun tanning, sun burning,
Like
building
today.
castles. The whole family can go out and play together, find seashells, or the mischievous Sims, knock things down.
Well, and aqua zips. I want to say it again.
forgot you
but
mentioned
they're so good.
What are they called again?
Aqua zips.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot to look at, so you've got to take time to really explore it all.
Okay, so obviously we've established that Solani is like a great place for Sims to kind of kick back. And you know what? But what if my Sims, they don't want to I can't personally lie on a beach for longer than about 30 minutes and get really bored. What if they want to get their hands dirty?
Well, I'm very excited about a new thing that we're introducing. If your Sims want a new career to take care of this island, you can actually become a conservationist. And your job is going to be to keep this ecosystem looking beautiful.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it was certainly one of the big goals was a way for your Sims to kind of care for their world and make it a better place.
Yeah, and obviously, very relevant with everything that's going on today in the world and how everyone's kind of a lot more kind of aware. So was that kind of what inspired you guys to bring that in?
I think there's a few things that really hit us. I mean, the first was just, it's something we all care about. A lot of us on the dev team worry about the environment and what's going on, but we talked about the idea that this island's this closed ecosystem, and so your actions and choices are going to have a lot more impact. And so something new we've added here and we're really excited about is the island actually changes over time. So if you're taking care of it,
oh, right, okay.
It'll actually become more lush. You'll see more greenery, brighter, beautiful flowers, and there's Lindsay's favorite part.
More butterflies.
So she really cares about it.
But it also, today happens to be World Oceans Day, which is amazing. That's exactly what we were talking about.
Totally
how do we
planned
take
for that.
care of these ecosystems?
So obviously, Solani's really, really beautiful. You can kind of go out there, but sometimes you want to make a little bit of cash. I mean, like barbecue meat, I presume, is expensive. I don't know, but so how can we make some extra simoleons while we're there?
Like we said, we wanted to make this place you live, which means you've got to have a way to earn some simoleons.
Yeah, and so the gap year has to end sometime.
Eventually.
You have to go home and earn some money as much as we
So
have.
we added a couple odd jobs and things that you could kind of work on the hours you wanted to, right? And so we've added the ability to make fishing more of a career, and then also the lifeguard, so you can get your tan while you're working.
If you want to spend more time in the water, you can be a dive instructor. There's a lot of different ways to just pick up a job when you want and earn a little bit of money.
Yeah.
So I suppose one of the important things as well is, as it's not a vacation, as you are actually kind of living on this island, obviously, you have to kind of be aware and know what's kind of part of local culture, because you're not just there on holiday and you go in and go out, you're living there. So what kind of, the side of the culture of the island can we actually see within?
Right, yeah, this is a place that you live, and the locals are super friendly, actually, and are going to come and help you out with all sorts of different things as you explore the island.
Things.
Okay, you were talking about this the other day, actually, all the neighbors are really, really helpful and help you.
Like if a fire happens to break out, your neighbor might bust in and help you put out that fire.
That's lovely. That's what
they're so nice.
should do.
So, but they also have their own traditions, their own sort of activities that you might be able to join in. So you might stumble across a barbecue that they've started in town, or a little festival to sort of celebrate things going on. And you might even stumble into a kava party.
Sorry, what, a carver party? What's a carver party?
So a kava is a special island drink that your sim can learn how to make and share with their friends on the island. It's one of the many delicacies you'll learn kind of exploring life in Sulani.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things we talked about was we wanted to have this island have a little history to it, just some sense of feeling of some people have lived here a long time, and there are traditions that are unique to this place, the world of Sulani.
So how can we kind of learn more about the island's history, like when we're there? How do we do that? Aside from, drinking carver.
Well, I mean, that might be one experience you should try, but on top of that, something else the team was really excited about adding is there are these elementals around the island that are kind of these spirits, these ancients who care a lot about Sulani, and they want to see their world taken care of. And when you do good things, they might be really happy and pleased. And if you're bad to the island, I don't think they
may not
will
approve.
appreciate it. Yeah,
It's like just sting in the tail.
yeah. Well, and we added some new traits with this pack that we wanted to really let. If your Sims are super in touch with the land or that's important to you, they can really get in touch with the water or the land and unlock some new behaviors.
Yeah. Okay. So from what we've kind of seen in all the videos, it feels really inspired by Polynesian culture. So how did you kind of go about kind of educating yourself to bring that into the game?
Well, every time we make a world, we want to learn a lot about the influences that could go into that place, because it's not a particular real place, but it's inspired by real places. So short of flying there and researching it ourselves, we reached out.
Work that into it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, EA is a big global company, so we were able to reach out to a lot of our friends and coworkers across the company and say, hey, we're looking at exploring a place inspired by this culture.
Yeah.
And could you share with us some patterns or iconography or symbols or even items that mean something to this culture, so we can try and create them in a way that feels rich and feels authentic?
Well, questions just like, what was iconic to you? Or what do you remember when you think back to living in that place?
Right, and some of our specific decor items came exactly from those recommendations, which is really cool. It's these nice touches that I hope make it feel familiar while still feeling like a new Sims world.
Yeah.
So not to make light of all that, because I think that's fantastic, but I really feel like I've been quite patient up until this point, and you haven't really mentioned it yet. Mermaids! What on earth's going on? Come on, let's cut to the chase. Mermaids! Mermaids, tell us everything.
There are mermaids.
Yes, so mermaids are in the pack. And I know lots of players are going to be wondering, it is a very fully featured call. You can take them into cast, you can create and style your mermaid, lots of different tails. It's a lot of fun, but also, the mermaids, they can do a little bit more. Obviously, they're very in touch with the ocean life. So, I'd recommend your mermaid meet a dolphin. That might work out for you. But lastly, the mermaids have some pretty cool powers that you might want to discover.
Powers? Can we call them that?
Yeah, we could say mer powers.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Can you tell us what they are?
There's still a bit of mystery to the mermaids.
Don't ask me that.
They are definitely worth exploring, so I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on them.
So, of course, I would just love to keep talking about mermaids, but no conversation about The Sims would be complete without a chat about, obviously, interior design. So kind of what's new for the architects out there. New homes, new furniture. I'm pretty sure we saw some houses on stilts as well over the water, right?
Yeah, so I think, first and foremost, lounge chairs. We're going to go to island. We're going to live the beach life.
I don't want to sit upright if I'm relaxing. I'm sorry.
No awkward sitting on the stage.
We had to bring the lounge chairs in, but then also a lot of that decor to really capture that Polynesian feel, right? And so we wanted to make sure there was that clutter that felt authentic and let it feel like this was home.
Yeah, and you can go for this more sort of local style cabana on the beach, or you can go for something a little more high end and modern. We really wanted you to feel like you could create the getaway of your dreams.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm so 100% sold on the houses over the water. I'm much more of a kind of modern sort of house.
Yeah, for sure. And you might have noticed too, she was able to jump right off of that deck out into the water, which is great.
Best.
Like your perfect little escape.
Oh, yes. It's all good. I'm feeling the diving into the water vibe.
I know. It's toasty.
I can't wait to check out, obviously, the new Island Living expansion pack. And now that I've got a feeling out that some of you, that you've got some more exciting additional information as well for us. So it's not just that. Have you got a bit more news to share?
We do have some more news. In fact, we're going to kick to somebody else for this announcement.
Okay.
So here's Joey Graceffa.
Ooh.
Hello there, everyone. I'm Joey Graceffa, and if you didn't know, I absolutely love The Sims, and I'm so excited to announce this upcoming partnership with one of my favorite games. So this summer, The Sims is actually partnering with the amazing It Gets Better project. As part of this partnership with It Gets Better, Sims is going to be releasing Pride items in all The Sims products in the next few months. There's going to be a variety of It Gets Better and Pride clothing in Sims Free Play, the Sims mobile app, and Sims 4. There's even a gender-neutral bathroom in Sims 4, along with a bunch of other items to show off your pride. Thanks so much for letting me share this news with everyone. Now go out and enjoy your EA Play.
Yeah.
That's so cool to see. That's really, really cool to see. And thanks so much to Joey for showing for that. I mean, what a great partnership as well to be announcing, of course, because it's Pride Month, it's Pride Week here in Los Angeles. How are you guys going about kind of supporting that great cause?
Well, The Sims has always been a game about being inclusive and the self-expression of creating yourself and people you know and telling your own story. So this is a wonderful opportunity to bring new content in the game to celebrate that.
Definitely. And I think also, people don't realize how important it is sometimes, when you're kind of growing up and you're figuring out who you are, you're discovering what kind of person you are and discovering, about your sexuality and being able to kind of sort of role play within games is a really, really safe place to do that. So, you guys have been doing it pretty much from the start, way before everyone else. So it's really great. I mean, isn't that great to see? It's so, so great. Yeah.
Well, it's something we're very proud of, and having been with the game a long time, it's something that keeps making me excited about being able to do more.
Yeah, I love when we get to do stuff like that. It makes what we do feel so much more powerful and meaningful. And, I always beam getting to tell people that I work on this game and that we do such amazing stuff, And also, when we get to hear from our community about the experiences they've had or how the game helped them get through a tough time in their life or realize something about themselves, it's just... that stuff really keeps us going as developers.
People forget how powerful gaming is and how much it can really kind of affect and change you as a person and show you stuff. It's amazing. So when can we get our hands on it?
So Joey mentioned briefly, but starting June 18th, the Pride content will come to The Sims 4, and then it will start rolling out over The Sims Mobile and The Sims Free Play a little bit later.
That's right.
So keep an eye out for that.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's great, but I think you've actually got, this is such a ridiculous, and it's back-to-back, right? What else? You've got something else that you want to announce in the summer. What's going on?
We actually had, I think, 2 more things we wanted to talk about.
Two more things.
Two more things.
I'm gonna let Lindsay talk about this now.
All right, so first of all, earlier this year, we announced our partnership with Moschino by releasing a real-world capsule collection of looks inspired by The Sims. I see some of them, and I'm very excited. And we had a hoodie that was actually put into all of our Sims games. So later this summer, we're going to be bringing that fashion and more to the Sims 4 Moschino Stuff Pack.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So not only are we going to be looking pretty special, but what if we want to kind of go and strut our stuff somewhere else and really show off the outfits that we've got?
Well, so I think one of the things that I'm most excited about in this stuff pack is for the first time, we're actually going to add a career as part of a stuff pack.
Okay.
And so we've decided the perfect career for this pack is a part-time job as a freelance fashion photographer, so you can capture all those amazing looks your Sims can now rock.
That's so me.
Yes.
Yes.
It's going to be fun.
That's
Looks really good. I'm excited.
Wow, well, we've covered so much so far. A new expansion, a new partnership, a new stuff pack, but we're not done yet, folks.
Oh, no.
No, we're not.
Michael and Lindsay brought one more big surprise for all of you guys.
Well,
so take it away.
Yes, I know you're all hoping, so we thought maybe we could tell you which game pack we had in mind.
Ooh, I don't know. I think maybe we could conjure up something.
All right, Mike, I'll let you spell it out for them.
The next game pack for The Sims 4 is Realm of Magic.
That's amazing. I mean, when are we going to be getting more info on this? I mean, aside from the fact that you just told us just now, and you only just told us, when are we getting more info on this?
Yes, so we will tell you more about the game pack later this year, so you'll have to wait a little more.
But it is coming this fall.
It is coming this fall. Yes.
Wow. I can't wait. These guys clearly can't wait. So,
We've
Lindsay
had
and
a
Mike.
couple community members asking for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah?
It's
We're
a
very
popular
excited. Who
request.
doesn't love a little bit of magic?
Yes, it's true.
So big thank you to Lindsay and Michael, and thank you so much for showing us what's next in The Sims 4. So let's just quickly recap this, because there's a few things to get through and it's hot and you might have forgotten. So the Island Living reveal trailer is live now. The expansion is playable here at EA Play, and you can play it at home soon. The It Gets Better Pride content starts rolling out, and in a few weeks, and the Moschino Stuff Pack comes out later this summer. So don't forget to check out all The Sims social channels for even more info and launch dates. So that's it for The Sims. It's been an exciting day here with so much news. I can't wait to join the Fan Fest and get my hands on the Island Living expansion pack. So from all of us here, goodbye. We'll see you later.
Bye, guys.
you all for watching EA Play 2019. We hope you enjoyed all these exciting reveals. Skate 4, I'm sorry, we just ran out of time. I'm Greg Miller, and I'd say I had a lot of fun hosting this show, but that, of course, would have been a lie. This has been the worst. I've been yards from all these great games, haven't been able to go play any of them. Now's my time. If you're in Los Angeles, come out and see everything we've got for you in person. If you're not in Los Angeles, or you're just lazy, like me, don't worry, because these games will be in your hand before you know it. This has been EA Play 2019. I'm done. I can go play now? All right, great. Let's get going. Where's my Sherpa? Where's Snowbike Mike? Snowbike Mike, come on. What are we gonna see? What do we gotta see? What do we gotta see? Yeah? Okay. All right.
Hello, everyone. We're not on the wide mic yet, but I'm Mike Mahardy.
There we go.
We're here, the first official day for us, at least, of E3 2019. It's that time of year. Like I said, I'm Mike Mahardy. I'm here with Lucy James.
Hello.
Michael Hyam.
Hi.
And Callie Plaggy.
Hello.
We will be here for the next few days doing pre and post shows for the vast majority of the press conferences. Tomorrow will be Microsoft Bethesda. Obviously, Sony is not here this year, but Ubisoft and Square will be wrapping stuff up Monday. And then we'll be getting to all the appointments and demos and our stage show. We'll be here for the next 6 days. You're stuck with us. Deal with it.
Sorry.
But we just saw EA Play, which is kind of a new format for them. They went half hour with 6 of their big games. Kind of one game that was maybe a few months ago we wouldn't expect to be missing. We'll get to that. But let's just jump right into it. First off, we finally saw gameplay of Jedi Fallen Order. Vince Zampella went on stage to show it off. Third-person action game. Michael, what's your take on it so far?
Oh, it's Star Wars Dark Souls. That's right. I said it. I got it out of the way. It's Dark Souls. Psych.
It's more like
kind
Sekiro.
of.
There's
Sure.
more movement.
Our producer
Sure.
Max is like growling in my ear.
I know.
Man, but what surprised me was that because I was thinking of Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, Jedi Academy, like those games from back
Force
in the day.
Unleashed.
Force Unleashed, maybe?
I like
I
that
was like, oh, they might channel some of that energy. And they are. But I think that, for Respawn to kind of build this game that's a lot more, it's a little bit slower and more deliberate than those past games. And they're going with that heavy style of combat that's a little bit more, they keep saying thoughtful. And I
get it.
I get it too. I really want to play a Star Wars game in that vein. So I'm surprised by the direction they're going with the combat. And there's like some Uncharted exploration elements. Also, I think I haven't been able to read the Game Informer cover story, but they also talk about like Metroidvania elements when it comes to the exploration.
Yeah, apparently they were saying there aren't going to be many waypoints. They're going to try to, despite it's not obviously not open world, but they do want you to do exploring on your own insofar as like maybe it is that Metroidvania aspect. But right here you see him, which is pretty cool, force pull the vine and then swing on it. Obviously, the force attacks and defensive maneuvers are a big part.
Here's some respawn, wall running.
Force slow. So actually, I want to get to that about the respawn thing, because if I, say I just came to this, didn't know who was making it, and I saw this in a vacuum, I don't know that I would just immediately say, oh, respawn.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. Like, I like that this is like, even like Apex Legends was a new direction for them in a sense, but that clearly had Titanfall DNA. This just seems like a brand new thing they're doing.
Yeah, you get like bits and pieces like with the wall running, but yeah, you don't really put your finger on it right away. I want to go back really quickly to the force in relation to exploration, because there's a lot of that in this reveal, like pushing things down with the force, or pull, like force push and pull, the slow, which you briefly mentioned, which
That's
is like a
new, right?
a new thing.
Very Dead Space.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I also really like the droid.
Yeah.
BD1.
BD1.
Buddy droid.
I think one thing I saw from the Game Informer reveal is that like originally this game wasn't going to be Star Wars. It was something they were already working on, and then the Star Wars deal came about and they could slap it on.
Oh,
That's weird, because I wonder like what aspect. This seems like a very Star Wars game. Like it feels weird that could be something else, but that's really
I
interesting.
might be mistaken, but I think I saw it in the Game Informer.
Gotcha. So yeah, they start on Kashyyyk. What they showed us, they said this was like 3 hours ish into the game. This is, for those who don't know, the story will take place between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope chronologically. You are a character, Cal
yeah.
Kestis or Cestus.
Kestis.
Cal Kestis, thank you.
With a K.
And he is one of the remaining Jedi after Order 66. Kind of killed most of them. You're in hiding. Yeah, I don't know. Like we talked about the combat. Like the first thing that like we noticed, a few of us in the office were like, oh, it's got like a stamina bar, la la, how you break people in Sekiro.
It's more like a poise posture, I guess.
Yeah.
Rather than maybe not stamina, but
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting the way that they. I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting more. I think in my head I was like, oh, maybe it's gonna be more like Force Unleashed, but I really don't mind the comparisons to Sekiro that a lot of people are making because that game is dope as hell.
It's pretty bold for the Star Wars franchise or a Star Wars game to go in this direction because this isn't. At least to me, it doesn't seem like, oh, we're making a Star Wars game with broad appeal. This is like very much rooted in like something that's a little bit more deeper into like the video game sense, like playing games like Sekiro and Dark Souls or whatever. Like that's kind of what this. I feel like it's what it's channeling rather than like something broad like Force Unleashed. And yeah, I kind of miss that because ever since, you know, a lot of the older games were made non-canon, it's kind of like there were fewer and fewer risks done with the Star Wars brand when it came to video games. So when I see this, I'm like, okay, yeah, I want, like, this is dope. I'm into this because I want something that's riskier or a little bit more deeper, I guess.
Yeah.
And I do feel like with so many Star Wars spin-offs movie, there's a Star Wars every year now. They're not all main entries per se, but I feel like it's kind of not as often I get excited about Star Wars anymore. So it's nice to see a studio like Respawn, who has a pretty like spotless track record, like of everything they've ever made, and like they literally were on stage for the next segment, which we'll get to as well. I really enjoy that. Yeah, like before I saw this, I would have said if I didn't know it was a Respawn game, I'd kind of be disappointed because I love Respawn's style of game. It does feel like they're branching off. Like, yeah, the wall running is indicative of Respawn, but like you could say the same thing about like Treyarch. I know they didn't like originate it, but like it could be anybody. But it's right here really when you first start to say, oh, like maybe like I'm glad the enemy variety is not just like melee Imperial troops. I do like it seems like they're going for more of like a flavor on each planet, which is cool.
That is actually something to note. The new Purge troopers, which were made for this game, that's the guys with like the bow staffs with purple electricity or whatever
Super
on the end.
shiny armor.
Trained to like
very
weaken Jedis before the Inquisitors come around.
Right.
I really like how when you use the Force against them, you kind of see he obviously can't use the Force, but he dug his spear into the ground to like have friction.
Yeah, it's really
that
cool.
was super cool, like small animation touch.
Yeah.
This is nothing against the game, but I am so sick of like sixth sense abilities in games. It makes sense for a Jedi. I get it. It's just when I saw that, I was like, come on. But anyway, it'll work, I'm sure.
I will say, like, the gameplay we were shown here didn't really excite me, but like the things I'm hearing about it are more exciting.
The theater presentation they're doing, they're saying there's a whole bunch more that they just for some reason didn't show, and they're showing it behind closed doors at EA Play.
Really?
Yeah, we'll have like more impressions of that up, obviously, really soon.
Because Tam messaged and it was like, I have seen some stuff, and it's incredible.
There's more on the way.
Before we move, sorry.
I was just say I was a little underwhelmed by this, and I know like it's paced a certain way because it's like for a presentation, somebody playing. But I was kind of like, I want to get my hands on it before I'm like I get excited.
It felt
you know?
safe.
You could see that the very clear demo driving of coming into an area and slowly panning the camera around, and it's like I get that you're doing that for the presentation, but that's not how people play games.
Yeah.
You can see him purposely fuck up a few times, like just to like show the getting out of a web,
It's real,
etc.
man. It's real.
But anyway,
Forrest
like
Whitaker, though.
yeah, Saw Gerrera. Again, this game is canon. Saw Gerrera first appearance in the movies, at least, was Rogue One. Yeah. I don't know what you said. I just kind of.
That's like the one thing that he yells in Rogue One that really just stuck in my mind. He yells "Boar Gullet."
Okay, so overall, more excited for this game now that we've seen this 15 minutes, less, about the same.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, more.
Yeah.
More.
Still,
I'm with you.
withholding my
Okay.
like true excitement, but I'm intrigued, I guess is what I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Respawn stayed on stage. Producer Drew McCoy went on to talk about Apex Legends Season 2. You guys have all played more Apex Legends than me, I believe.
Okay.
You might have as well.
Oh, no.
Quite
so
a
they
bit.
showed, first off, I want to talk about Year 1 Battle Pass. Let's go quickly, Battle Pass, the first one. We'll just go through that quickly.
The Season 1 Battle Pass.
Kind of underwhelming. They even mentioned that on stage today.
Yeah, they acknowledged it, which I mean, I
Props to
respect.
them.
I respect that a lot. Yeah.
I mean, Battle Pass for me, like I play pretty frequently. I play it pretty much every weekend, and it just doesn't hit the right notes for me. Like I don't care about the unlocks that I'm getting,
Yeah.
and that's
Same.
pretty crucial, I guess. So it's interesting that they are saying, we are listening to you, we're implementing this, we're improving it, and I'm cautiously optimistic about what they're doing for season 2.
Yeah, challenge-based
Yeah.
stuff rather than time-based was
Stuff
a big
that stacks.
emphasis. Yeah.
There's such a grind too to the season 1 battle pass. Not only were you asked to grind so much, but also the rewards are like, okay, like
Yeah.
I ain't trying to use any of this, or like it's like you said, it's underwhelming rewards on
Yeah.
top of a grind.
I think it speaks to the fact that I really don't think Respawn knew how popular it was going to be, and then they just kind of didn't
It was like
didn't plan that far enough ahead for something like implementing a battle pass. But now that they have this feedback, they're actually having to think, oh God, we didn't prepare for this. We need to make this one much better. And
Yeah.
they've got the information
Yeah,
and they've
I
got
feel
the
like-
feedback.
Yeah, they're pivoting in the right direction, I would say, based on the limited knowledge that we know about the season 2 battle pass. Because like Fortnite, I guess, like say whatever you want about Fortnite, but they do season battle passes extremely well, and they're intriguing for the people who play that game. And I think that Apex Legends is kind of channeling some of that same energy, like you said about the challenge-based stuff. So and also stacking. So it's not like, oh damn, I'm like I have to do this certain stuff now. It's like I'll come back to it when I can.
I love that. Like as coming from something like Destiny, where I felt like Destiny 1, I felt like I could never catch up to that game. I love that it's like, I mean, we play a lot of games for work, and there's a lot of times where I'll take a significant break from a game like this, even though I really like Apex. Like, I don't have time to play it all the time. I really like the challenges stack, and then you can just knock them out when you have time and not lose out on something because you were on vacation or because you were busy or just working. I think that's really smart.
Yeah, you could theoretically come back the last weekend of the season and
Just
maybe catch up.
knock
to
it
everybody.
out, yeah.
Speaking of, we'll get to the character, which I'm sure was probably the biggest announcement. They're bringing the L-Star LMG from Titanfall 2 into the game. More like it shoots the red like plasma boltish things. I used it a bit in Titanfall 2. Wasn't my favorite. The fire rate was kind of low, but yeah, it's here now.
It'll be a care package weapon.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you
Gold
can't-
tier.
because
can't
it's
find any ammo
as
for
Drew
it.
McCoy said on stage, because it is so OP.
So OP, yeah.
Unless there's anything else about that, I don't know if you want to talk more about the L-Star.
Shoots through doors or shatters doors.
Yeah.
That's
and
pretty
it's
sick.
But also they're adding a ranked mode to
Yeah.
Apex
Yeah.
Legends. It sounds cool because as opposed to maybe the more the challenge based kind of progress, which is like more this, which is there. They have more. There's 6 tiers to the ranks mode. As you play throughout the season, you can go up. They said if you're doing really poorly, it might cap out, which is probably where I would end up. I think if I got to like tier 2, I'd be happy. But at the end of the season, based on where you are, they'll reward you for that.
That's good.
Theoretically, I would assume they would give tier 6 the best reward. Sorry, I almost said worst.
Apex Predator being the 6th tier, which is
Is that what they're calling
that's
it?
what it's called.
Very
yeah.
good.
That's a smart way of like I guess evening the playing field for trash players like myself. So
Yeah,
I
he
try
did
to
say-
get wrecked all the time.
He did say there might be some tweaks they have to make to matchmaking in order, especially when you get to higher tiers and there's fewer people
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
skill
Yeah.
level.
So it'll take a bit
It might
longer.
take a little bit longer, but I mean, like you were saying, there's so many people that play this game. I don't think it'll be too much of a problem, and the
Yeah.
infrastructure has felt relatively sound throughout the entire run, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's
I've
like-
never really had problems with matchmaking.
Yeah, it's like the
Okay.
most
No.
stable battle royale game that I've played, and I played all of them since H1Z1 was a mod. So like this is the most impressive battle royale game, and it's only getting better, I would say, based on
Yeah.
what they said out there.
All right, the part I'm pretty excited about, specifically because of the character design, is Watson, the 10th legend to come to Apex Legends with Battle Charge, the season 2. I was kind of jaded when they first showed her. I was like, she looks kind of boring. But then the more I saw about her, I was like, damn, she's actually really cool. Like, they said she is RTS kind of inspired, like territory
Yeah.
control, which,
Yeah.
as a huge strategy fan, I'm like, she might be a character that like brings me back into. So one of her abilities is she throws down these up to 12 nodes on a laser wall.
Yeah.
Which, correct me if I get any of these minutia wrong, but your teammates can go through them. They'll deactivate. You can shoot through them. You can't throw grenades through them. But so say you want to lock down an area. Maybe there's like a good care package nearby, or one of your teammates is down. You want to kind of protect everybody else while you're reviving them. It opens up some cool tactical abilities. Also, like they said, they really wanted her, like the other characters, to be noticeable from a distance, and these laser walls are pretty
Distinct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
exactly.
can tell.
And then her second ability, the ultimate is the forgot what they called it. The shield. It's like a shield
Pylon.
generator for pylon. Thank you for everybody around.
Oh, okay,
her.
yeah, that's her ult. Is
Yeah.
throwing
Yeah,
down all those
that's-
The
pylons.
tactical is the laser wall. The ult is the pylon. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that can like heal teammates. It like disrupts arc stars and stuff like that.
You kind of overcharge your weapon, I think,
Yeah.
if you're near it.
There's a couple effects. I missed all of them because there were a few, and
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it only goes away if it's destroyed. So you can use it kind of as an area control thing with the fences, like in conjunction with those fences. So you can block off an area, put down the pylon, and then like recharge or whatever. And then her passive feeds into that too, because her passive makes ultimate accelerants just autofill her ult.
Yep.
So now it's like, don't just give them to Lifeline. Maybe think about it.
Yeah,
poor
they said that
Lifeline
they were
main.
saying like that was one of the first things they wanted to address with the next character.
Yeah.
Following was Octane the last one released, I believe. He was
Yep.
the ninth.
Yeah.
Another thing they said lore-wise, which is kind of cool. She and her father, who showed in the like intro at the beginning,
Yeah.
were involved with like creating the arena. So it kind of makes sense that she would be about map control because she knows the map well.
Yeah.
They did say they wanted to make a character that kind of rewards experienced players who know the map and like know, okay, this would be a good area to lock down. There's probably a high chance we'll get really good loot here. I like that idea. I like that the character itself, she does reward people with the knowledge, if not just the skill,
Mm-hmm.
which is a cool idea. I think it's pretty unanimous that we think she's a cool looking character.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm with it, yeah.
I'm a Lifeline main, and I'm really excited to try her as a different support character.
She's an electrical engineer
Yeah.
Yeah.
and a scientist, a genius
And she's
scientist.
French.
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 Watson, because
Yeah,
electricity.
with two T's.
With two
Two
T's.
T's.
Yeah, I got that messed up when I was writing the
We-
story. I was like, is it Watson like normal Watson or is it Watt like electricity?
It's always going to be a pun.
Yeah.
I messed up though.
So that's Apex Legends Season 2. It's called Battle Charge. And that releases the
Oh,
beginning.
charge because of
Electricity.
Yeah, beginning of
electric.
July 2nd. That'll be the second season of Apex Legends' ongoing efforts to remain a great game.
Ooh, and then really quickly,
Yeah, go.
they hinted a couple things. They hinted about map changes, saying to keep an eye out for that in the next month, and they also hinted buffs for the Mozambique.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
There was like a tease because it's like, oh, a certain gun named after an African country
Yeah.
may get improvements. And I was
that
like,
was a weird way to
Just say
introduce.
it.
You could just say.
say
Mozambique.
Mozambique.
What was that
Um,
dragon at the end thing?
That was that
Giant-
was another thing they were like, keep an eye out. And I was
Yeah.
like, well,
Map changes. We're just going to drop a
Thanks.
giant dragon in
Just
the middle of it.
big dragon.
I'm
I
with
mean,
it.
there's already those like tight, like those huge
Those
Next
tentacle
things.
things.
Yeah.
Out in
tentacle
the-
things in
yeah.
the ocean. Yeah. So
Another game that's getting an update, or further updates, Battlefield 5.
Oh, yeah.
Chapter 4 is beginning. That's what they're calling Chapter 4. We also got, I think the big news is Chapter 5, but we'll start with Chapter 4 quick. Several new maps. Al Sandan is a wider classic Battlefield map. That'll
Yeah.
be day one from Chapter 4 on June 27th. They show that's a much wider North African desert map with more vehicles. There's an airstrip you want to control. There's, like, it's more like a kind of a...
It's a classic Battlefield map, I would say.
Yeah, as opposed to some others they showed. I didn't get all the names. There's Merida, which is coming in July, and then there's more of a Nordic country, which is a small one, more about squad tactics, etc. They're also adding private games, so you can play with just your friends if you want to. They're raising the max character level from level 50 to 100.
Was it not 500?
They said 500. I was like, what does
50
that
to
mean?
500?
Yeah, it
I
was
don't know.
something
Maybe they misspoke.
ridiculous like that.
Let me look that up while...
I can talk a little bit about
yeah.
the maps. I think for me as a Battlefield 5 player and person who reviewed the game, one of my main concerns with the game was like a lot of the maps are too like they look big but they don't feel big because everything is funneled through lanes. So with Alsa Sedan map, it goes back to a lot of the Battlefield 1942 designs where it's just open. It's open as hell, and you can create your own tactics rather than relegating yourself to these lanes where like shit just goes down like all the time, and there's like no way to make sense of tactical situations. That was one of my main problems with Battlefield 5. So I'm excited to play a map that channels that old energy where you can do more with vehicles because in those base maps, I was like, well, I got a vehicle and I can only use it in a certain scenario or whatever. But with a more open map, it's like vehicles kind of, are a lot more effective this time around, I suppose. And also the progression with vehicles is like, I never felt like using a vehicle because also I wasn't really able to make progress on that and unlock
Right.
cool stuff. So That's why I think this new map is important. And also Operation Underground, which is channeling that Battlefield 3 energy. Because Operation Metro was, I guess, more or less an iconic map from Battlefield 3. That's like, you hop on Battlefield 3, that's what all the servers are playing. And it was chaotic in a different way, like in a good way. And just like fighting in those tight corridors. I think that, Battlefield, so one, they're going back to the best parts of Battlefield 3 and also the best parts of Battlefield 1942. So, I feel I'm excited to see where they're taking Battlefield 5, because I feel like they're addressing some of the things that were some of my concerns at launch.
It's 500. I stand corrected.
That's a lot of levels.
Yeah,
Wow.
I thought just doubling it was a lot, but they're adding what, 450? So is that all you want to talk about? Chapter 4 maps, etc.
For Chapter 4, yeah. That's all I got.
Should note that the thing with Operation Underground is it's not like a remake of Metro. It's like a reimagining. They're adding
Yes.
like flanking position
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it's not like
reinvent it for a new era kind of thing.
exactly.
Chapter 5, which is later in the year, is the first time Battlefield 5 is going to the Pacific Theater,
Right.
starting with Iwo Jima.
Yes.
They showed the whole kind of obligatory. We traveled there. We did research.
We took some pictures.
Yeah. I'm curious how that will change. Obviously, if they're trying to be as historical as they can in this game where you are, jumping out of planes and then parachuting on top of people.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Obviously, if they want to be historically accurate, it's going to be a very different kind of multiplayer.
Yeah.
And they said they're going to try to make it feel like that. I don't know. I'm curious if that excites you as someone who's played more Battlefield 5.
Yes, because my favorite part of Battlefield 5 was Grand Operations mode. So I'm obviously they didn't give out that many details, but what I'm imagining is we're trying to recreate an invasion-like experience. So I'm thinking about island hopping. That's another thing that they were talking about because of the Pacific theaters, thematically fitting. And when I think about Grand Operations and what they can do with that, like storming beaches, okay, you're gonna have your squad come in through a boat, and then you have to break through this defense. So there's a foundation within Battlefield 5 that can work with the Pacific theaters, most exciting pieces, I guess, of what you can do with a shooter, at least. And I think that this is a necessary direction to kind of mix up the themes of Battlefield 5, because it's very European theater focused, of course. So I'm curious to see what they do with this multiplayer wise. But I think one of my main concerns is how they're going to handle the single player content for Chapter 5. I don't know. They haven't been the best when it comes to. They've done very good things, and they've done questionable things with the campaign story,
War stories,
war stories, and I think that they can do something special with this, but I don't know if I trust them to do that.
They had that little snafu. Last week,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and the at least the Pacific theater, all theaters of war, of course, are very sensitive subjects.
Yeah.
Pacific theaters, no, of course, that's as well. And you got to be a little bit more nuanced with this kind of stuff. You got to be very careful with how you portray war in general.
Modern Warfare, the recent gameplay trailer was also kind of treading on tough ground.
Yeah.
Anything else about Battlefield 5 before I move on? That'll be Chapter 4 on June 27th. Day 1, we'll have El Sandan, the wider classic map.
Yep.
That all?
The Pacific Theater stuff, Chapter 5, is coming in the fall, and I think it's going to be November to coincide with the 1-year anniversary of Battlefield 5's release.
November
Lovely.
is suddenly packed as of last week.
Right.
Oh, Jedi Fallen Order also is November, right?
Yeah, 15th,
Yeah.
the same day as
15th,
Pokemon.
And then Death Stranding is what?
November
the week,
8th.
Yeah, the week before-ish.
Yikes.
Okay, so that's Battlefield 5. If you want to get back into it, that's June 27th. Or if you're already playing it, June 27th, it's Chapter 4. That's when that will start. Really quickly before we get onto the sports games, Battlefront 2, our friend Greg Miller did interview the developer whose name is escaping me from Battlefront 2 right now. Big thing for that is they're adding Felucia, that really or Felucia, however you want to pronounce it, a really colorful fungal planet from Revenge of the Sith. Just kind of had a few brief cameos. If you're into Battlefront 2,
Bye,
maybe you'll
Felicia.
enjoy that. Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
All right. Okay, FIFA, the next big soccer game.
Football.
Soccer.
This is my only input into this because despite being British,
We'll get to football. Right now, we're going to talk about soccer. I think the big part here is the Volta, the 5v5, or you can kind of change that up, but it is the Street. It's kind of like a spiritual successor to the FIFA Street series. This looks, I don't know, as someone who doesn't, never plays FIFA, I don't know that this is enough to get me into FIFA. But I like the idea that you can customize your characters. You can go male or female. You can wear like jeans and hiking boots if you want to.
Yeah, it's like co-ed games
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, they referred to being able to play as a woman as being one of their